Hello and welcome back to Junkyard Builder, where we're continuing our real-time playthrough. Our last task was to unlock the incinerator, which we did. So that cost $2,500, and we're now being prompted to incinerate 5 trash bags. Now, earlier on in the task list, there was a prompt to search through trash bags on our site, inside of which were different values of cash. Not in all of them, only a handful. But so I did that and basically searched through every single bag on the yard. So I don't have any trash bags to incinerate to then meet that task. So there's only 2 ways that I can think that we could do that, which is to see if we can purchase any via the shop, which would be a little bit odd to purchase trash bags, but let's have a look. So we go to the market and buy. So that seems to work on an hourly cycle where that will refresh, and unfortunately no trash bags. So the only other option that I can think of is to actually leave the site and go and find some, which kind of goes against 2 of the recommendations that I gave on my initial playthrough, and that was, rather than just selling trash bags, was to search through them for those dollars, which seemed to make sense at the time. And it was also that when we went to another area via our truck over here, because we only have the capacity to get 10 items, would be to go for the more expensive stuff, which again, still stand by that. That would make sense, but it means that we're potentially going to have to pay $200, because that's what's going to cost to go to one of the other areas, because we've already been to the woods and I don't remember seeing any trash bags in there, and to date our deliveries haven't resulted in any being delivered either. So every, I think it's 30 minutes, we will get a fresh new delivery into the yard with these items here. And so what we've been doing is getting ourselves organised, so that we've got our balers and machinery with the relevant recycling dumpster next to them to sell them straight away. We got our raw materials kind of stacked up somewhere near, and around the back over here we had our area ready for our restoration project. So we've got the vehicles and the various different parts in different piles, and then there's quite a wide range of cabinets, which is why they're all scattered around instead of in one neat pile. So we don't even have $200 at the moment, so that means we're going to have to go and do a little bit of production. We could actually just sell raw materials, but as we've discovered, we make more through using these balers here. So I suppose what this would do, this is my second kind of playthrough, and you kind of learn things as you go through, and sometimes unfortunately when it's a little bit too late. So the benefit of hindsight, as they say, is a wonderful thing, and I would have left those trash bags ready to put in the incinerator, because each one of them apparently gives us $50, so that's quite a good return actually. So let's wait for our baler there to do the recyclable plastic. In the meantime, we'll get the paper on as well, and then what we'll do is we'll head off to a different area that we've not explored yet and hopefully find some trash bags. If we don't, I'm not then sure how we can kind of progress through the current main task list, which would be a bit of a shame given the time that we've invested into the game so far. What that could mean is a fresh new playthrough, which is no bad thing really. I found this quite enjoyable, quite It's a nice kind of chilled pace. So much so that I had downloaded a couple of games to try on the Portal. So on the PlayStation Plus subscription, games like Death Stranding, which kind of, I know it's been out for a long time. At first, I was really looking forward to it, and then it got, well, I would say terrible reviews. Maybe mixed is a bit kinder. But it seemed to be, as people described it, a walking simulator, which didn't really fit my playstyle at that time. So we need to wait. We got a minute, around about 2 minutes on each of those, so that we can make our dollars. Actually, we've got a metal stove here. So what we'll do is, the reason that we're taking it over to the warehouse is to see whether we have the option to restore it. So if we did, that area there would flag in green. So whilst we're here, let's pop that into our storage, and we'll sell that as well. Put that in, go to our laptop, to the market, and then we can sell that for $60. There we go. So the expected kind of progression was that we would carry on moving through the machines, actually, because if we start from the top, we unlocked all the containers early on in the playthrough. Same with the tools, infrastructure as well, so that delivery gate and the ability to leave the site were all probably within about an hour, maybe two, because time flies when you're in the game. And the cart also were all unlocked fairly early into the playthrough. They're all fairly cheap items, $100 to $200, so we could buy those through the materials on our yard. Then we moved on to the machinery, where the prices started to ramp up a bit. So the latest edition, our garbage simulator, was $2,500. And as you can see, once you've bought one, there's not an opportunity to buy another. So the scrap press is going to be 3,000, and that's why we've been saving the metal that we've got around the yard. Okay, so that's interesting. So the crane gives us the ability to lift up objects and place them into the crushers. So I'm guessing that is then the vehicle crushers, which seems then to be everything unlocked, unless there's an extra kind of dimension to the game. So as I've mentioned, I've not really spent any of my precious dollars on upgrades, apart from an upgrade to the cart capacity. So I guess if I was to play this again from the beginning, what I would probably do is just to take a little bit of a different approach and kind of focus on those upgrades to the character and the yard itself. So you can get, basically you can harvest better materials and things like that. We'll put 3 on there. We'll pop another one on the baler, and then we'll head off to a new destination, see if we can find some precious bin bags to meet our next objective. And as you can see, we are running out quite quickly of the starter materials that we had on the yard, which were quite generous actually. So I haven't actually bought anything. I have had deliveries, as you can see over here, every 30 minutes or so. So that's not loads of them. That looks like a gas cylinder, which are worth a few quid. So let's sell that separately over here. And there we go, 30. Right, let's head off, as we say, to another site. So when we go to travel to another destination, I'm not sure what to do for the best here. I would guess that trash bags would be in a residential area. If there was another junkyard, I think our chances would increase. And spending 200 takes longer. Let's just go for it. Residential area, and off we go. So straight away there, that's good news. We have lots of trash bags. So we'll do a little bit of an exploration because it's our first time here. So this is a little suburban neighbourhood where clearly they have some kind of bin collection strike. And so it doesn't look, well, that's $50 worth. It doesn't initially look like there's lots of high value items. So a medium dresser. So I think the best thing to do in this instance is a bit of a mixed approach. So we will get our 5 trash bags to meet our objective. I'm just going to carry on looking around here. A bed frame. Now. That's worth 75, and if you have been with me since the beginning, or even looked at previous playthroughs, you'll know that we were able to clean a mattress up. So that means that we could potentially refurbish a whole bed. So that's interesting. So what I'll do is, here's the approach. We're going to collect 5 trash bags to meet our objective. We will search through the rest because they may contain cash. And then oh, that car's in the way. That's odd. So how did we... Because usually it parks up right near the entrance. So we're going to have to find where the exit is as well. We'll have to do a little bit... Oh, there it is. Do a bit of driving. Okay, so let's get our trash bags in. And I don't actually know, there's only one area that I have revisited, which was the forest area, which is the cheapest at $100. Actually, I was just going to say, I don't know whether it replenishes, but clearly it did, because we took the high value items from the forest and then there were more there, so that's good to know. So we got our 5 bin bags. We'll then have a little look around here. Not particularly big value items. So we can search through the bags using our circle button and see whether any of them have cash. So again, just a nice little unexpected extra was the fact that you can actually leave your junkyard and go to other areas. You know, fairly small sandbox environments, as you can see here. Can we go further than that? No. And so in these areas we want to get a return if we can for our $200 that it cost us to get here. No cash in the bags as yet. So a wardrobe base, again, is that a big wardrobe? This is something that we could refurbish. I don't think we have a red mirror, so I'll probably collect that. Because we're going to have room for 5 items. There's another bed frame. So even if we didn't refurbish the bed frame, we're still able to get $75 for that. So that seems like a good thing to collect. I'm not really expecting any of these bags to have money in, but you never know. Another dresser there at $50. So what I'll do is, because we're going back towards our truck, let's take this with us until we find something more valuable. And pop that down there. Search through this bit here. Washing machine at 50 seems like a good option. Mattress. Okay, so I know that is only a $30 item, but I just want to see whether we can refurbish a bed as a complete project and make some better money. So that's 3. Dumpster lid's a $30 item. We missed a bag there. Let's have a look. No. So I'm going to take this bed frame at 75. I'm assuming that we don't need anything other than a mattress, but we'll find out. And what else did we have here? Was this a crate? That's 30. Dumpster lid 60. Ladder 80. We'll take the ladder. Okay, so I think it was worth the investment. I do think. I'm just wondering whether I should take the dresser or something a little bit different. I'm going to leave that one there. Although it's got 2 of the drawers, that means we only need 2 to be able to do it. So let's take that. Pop that in. And go and collect our pile of goodies. Just make sure that I have not miscounted 5, 6. Yeah. Oh, press the button. So we're cleaning up this neighbourhood and making cash at the same time. Okay, good that we can throw it into the truck there, because around our yard, although he's clearly strong enough to pick up pretty much any item, including a full car, the throwing capacity is something that you need to upgrade. So I think there is some longevity to this game, because even after you've kind of unlocked the main things and potentially all the main tasks, you can still carry on with your playthrough. And there's a couple of different ways that you can play the game. So with the restoration, you could go and clean all the items, paint them, and leave them in nice little piles ready to refurb and sell them. Now, I think, didn't I want the red mare? Can I pick it up when it's in the truck? Yeah. So I'm just going to pop it down there, only because I don't think we had a red mare, although that has more missing drawers. So the ladders will take, because that's an easy $80. That's a no-brainer. I will take that wardrobe, actually. Shame there's no car parts around here. It'd been nice to get another vehicle restored. But I do think, because this cost us a little bit more money to get here, it's good that we've been able to get some decent items. Go, and last but not least, let's get that in there. Then we're going to have to do a little bit of driving. So we just do that with the thumbstick. There isn't any kind of accelerator button. Do a little bit of a 3-point turn here. And off we go back to the junkyard. Okay. So the stuff is already unloaded for us, which is nice. I'm going to go and grab the cart, actually, because the incinerator is probably the furthest away machine. So we'll empty what's in the cart. Let's see. We're going to have to now see what these relate to. I'm not sure that I've seen a rose wick either. So we're going to end up with a fairly big... excuse me. We're going to end up with a fairly big pile of different wardrobes and things. So for the purposes of this video, rather than putting all these into the piles, we'll just pop them down here for the time being. I've got a feeling that that drawer is going to be one that we just picked up. Oh, it's got little photographs on the side. Cabinet base, small cabinet base, so we did put that in the right area. We'll just, as I say, for now, just make this into a new pile. We seem to have a lot of different pieces, but none of them matching. Ah, that's not a cabinet, that is a door. Is that the trunk or something? We've got two of those. We don't seem to be finding many parts for the vehicles at the moment. Put that down there, and there we go. So let's get our trash bags into the incinerator. So to be fair, if we do get 50 for each bag, that's a nice little return there. The other equipment, or the other machines, they have a requirement for 3 items to then make the bales for it. So if we could get $50 for each trash bag, that is nice. And had we left the trash bags that we start with on site, that would have been a fair few dollars. Okay, so we're going to sell the ladders for a quick return, $80. Same with the washing machine, which we can't then restore. And actually, let's take the bed frame. Oh, will that go into the? No, it won't go into the cart. I was going to take that over as well so that we could restore that. Let's head over to the incinerator. And let's see what we get here. So again, I haven't found a use for the brick. It doesn't seem that you can recycle it at all. I left it around the yard for the same purpose as the other things, just in case it came in useful later on. It doesn't seem to have done yet. Okay, so that is good to know. So this is instant, and yes, you do get $50 per garbage bag. There we go. So that's good. On the way back, we'll set the baler going again for the plastic. As you can see, we're running a little bit short on supplies here. So as we expected, our next objective is to get the scrap press. He's over here. And that's why I'd left a gap rather than putting the incinerator next to the other bits of machinery. And that's why I've left the metal scattered around the yard. Okay, so let's get the Oh, it looks like we've had another delivery. So we've got another car parked there. One there. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. I'm sure I'm getting it wrong each video. But a trophy bumper. Again, metal stove. We can't do anything with it, so let's just get that sold. And then we're going to get this bed restored and see how much we make for that. So the fact that the area is lit up green means that we can restore it. It's a good start. The wooden bed frame on its own is currently worth $75. Let's see how that increases as we restore it. So the slats and things are a little bit more difficult to get to everything. We're almost there. We should just have the other end of the bed, and I think that should be us done. Yes. We'll give it a nice colour. Just go for a nice brown. I like it very red, actually. Not that it affects the sale price in any way. And it should be, we've got that little progress bar down there at the bottom. And I guess we're going to be in the headboard and the butter here, which is why we're not quite at 100%. There we go. So that's doubled the value to 150. Right, we'll put that in the assembly area there, ready for the mattress. And let's go and grab that and give that a clean. And then we'll see what we get. So a bit of maths while we do that is it cost us 200 to get there. 250 we got back from the 5 bin bags. I can't remember all the other items because we've not sold them yet, but we got some restoration pieces, and we also had the ladder, which I think was at $80, so we're already at 280 at least. We could have got 75 for the frame before it was restored, and we could have got 30 for the mattress before we cleaned it. And if we clean this, then that's doubled as well. So we're currently getting 60. Let's pop this onto the bed. And that's gone up again. So by combining it, we have got $315. So well worth the time and effort. Excuse me. So let's sell that. We've got a way to go. We've got to make some money. So we're at 896 at the moment. I think the next piece of machinery was 3,000. Scrap press, yeah. 8,000 for that, for the one after that. So I do think we're going to have to mix it up a bit here. We're going to have to do a bit of recycling. bit of processing there, and we're going to have to tidy up this area certainly. So let's sell our processed materials. Oh. Bit chaotic there with the movement. Have we got 3 items of wood? No, not at the moment. We've only got 2 bits of cardboard, but I'm sure there's more around the yard. We'll sell our plastic bales. Skips probably would have been better on the other side actually, but okay. So we're getting there. 1,116, but we are running a little bit short on our materials here. So I think we're going to have to do a bit of organisation with our restorations. So we've got a medium dresser. Metal stove, again we've established we can't really do much with that other than sell it at face value, but that's $60, that's good. Metal tables, now it says it's dirty, which gives me the impression that we can clean it up and make a little bit more money, but then the wooden table isn't worth very much. Where can we put that? We can't sell it in mixed. Put that into the cart then to sell. We got some more cupboard bits here. Pop those in to get our area sorted out. And more drawers there. We'll take the car parts. Two more items, so we'll take these drawers. And then we'll collect the rest of those materials and put them into their related piles. So what I'll do for now is I'll just take the cart over here and empty it. Again, we're just going to put it into a mixed pile for now, and we'll do a bit of more yard maintenance on a future video. So we already had a bumper as well, but we're accumulating some parts there ready for a... Is that a front bumper or a back bumper? It looks like we need the front for this one. Okay, so that has got exhausts on, so that's going to be the back bit. Oh, we made a right old mess there. That goes in our pile of things. The wooden table we'll put into storage and sell because that's been cleaned already. Metal table, we'll give it a quick clean. We'll do that now and see how much that increases the value. So it's worth 10. Generally things double, don't they? So it's not a massive return. In terms, I'm assuming that it's only worth 20, and it's a bit of a more awkward object to clean all the areas as well, so it's not a mega quick job. Right, what are missing. Looks like quite a bit, because the percentage of cleanliness, or completion should say, isn't massive. So I'm not sure that there's an awful lot more there that we can access. Thing is, if we take it out of the area to have a look whether it's the underside, the completion bar completely resets, which doesn't happen often, but we seem to be a bit of a way off this being fully completed, and I can't see any obvious areas that we've missed. Oh, okay. So top tip, I literally just realised, is that you can rotate the object whilst it's in the cleaning area after all. So if you take it out, so we doubled the value. It's not a great return, is it? But we can rotate the objects while they're in the cleaning area to access the other bits. Pop that in storage. What did we have left in our cart? One item, which is the cabinet base, which looks a little bit like this one. Is that the same? Medium dresser. Yeah. Okay. So with hopefully we got 2 drawers in our pile of goodies there to be able to restore that. So let's sell the bits that are in our warehouse for a princely sum of $40. It's all counting towards our target. And then what we'll do is, on the way back, we'll just pick up any materials that we can use for the existing bits of equipment that we have. Got another cabinet door there to put into the pile for sorting. We know that we can currently process cardboard or paper and plastic. Traffic cone. So what's going to be interesting is to test out my theory that the balers will accept any type of material and we'll always get the set price. So if then we put in 3 traffic cones that we could, each worth, I think it was 20, was it? So we could sell those individually as and get 60. If then we're only going to get, I think, 60 out of the plastic baler, there's not really a great deal of benefit from doing it. Okay, so let's have a look around this bit of the yard. I think I saw some other items here. So we got some cardboard, more cardboard. We should largely just be left with metal, I think, around the yard. Let's head over here, because I've not really been over to this bit. So a metal chair, metal table that we could restore. More cabinet drawers. Cabinets, brick, anything else for me? That is metal can. I think that is us having exhausted all the resources that were initially in the yard, actually. Let's have a look at our pile that's been delivered. Largely metal. We got a plastic cone there. Doesn't want to go in. Metal, that's plastic. metal, some more recyclable cabinets, piece of paper. That's our 10 items. We'll put these in the relevant areas, and then that will just about do it for this video today. So paper into the pile. What we'll do is let's get... so we've established that each traffic cone is worth $20. We need 3 plastic to make a plastic bale. Which should be, we did get someone put them in here. We'll just get this paper and cardboard out. There's cone number 3. That's going to take 4 minutes. After which we will end this video, ready for the next play session. So yeah, I would say, obviously we're getting those 30-minute deliveries. I would say that there's enough raw materials on the yard to see through probably the first, there's a cardboard box there, probably the first kind of 3 hours or so of gameplay. I've been taking that not at a leisurely pace, but I've not been rushing through it either. So I have gone through prioritising the tasks so that I could see that everything that the game had to offer. But there has been bits of yard maintenance within that as well. So whilst we wait for the plastic baler to do its work, let's go and collect some items here. The spirit level, is that worth a few quid on its own? I don't know what 30 quid a day. What would that be classed as? What does it say it is? Just other, so we're probably going to have to sell that in the warehouse. So we're left with largely metal now. Which we'll put into our cart, ready for our pile of scrap metal when we get our next piece of equipment. And then by then we'll know if it's true that it doesn't matter what the value of the item is, it's just recognised as one piece. And so if that's the case, then it may be actually better just to recycle the lower value items and just sell the other ones individually. There's always a little bit of a margin. I think the aim is going to be to, if I left enough space for the next machine there, probably not. Need to leave space for the skip and then the machine, so we're probably going to need to put that about there. That'll be our pile of metal. So I want to pick that up. That's because I'm pressing the wrong button. Okay, so once we've done this, we'll head over to the plastic baler and see what that was worth in the end. Has that gone back in? Yeah, that it does it sometimes. It will pop it back into the into the cart, which is why I'm a bit kind of all over the place with the lifting. Because of the collision mechanics, I do tend to lift them quite high, and I've got the controller on quite a high sensitivity. Not particularly that I set it that way, that was just a preset and I've been too lazy to change it. So we will need to move that pile of metal over there. We got a whole... okay, so our plastic baler, 75, so there is still, yeah, there's still a margin. I can't remember whether we had one there already, because we've got 2 plastic bales for some reason. So I don't know whether because it was better quality items, we got more out of it. And we don't have another to test that theory just at the moment. So we've got 8 minutes to our next delivery. So progressing quite nicely again through the game. So the aim of the next video is to get all of our scrap metal ready for our new piece of machinery. So we'll move the various bits of metal from around the yard over there, and that should mean that pretty much everything that we had from the outset on the yard has been moved. Still bits dotted around, as you can see, and I did keep all of the drums and everything specifically for that purpose, rather than selling it all from the outset. So just to recap, what I would recommend if I was starting the game again is, and I think I said this in previous videos, is use only what you need. So rather than selling all the materials to get lots and lots of dollars, early on through the playthrough, everything's quite cheap. You get them for about $100 a piece. That will give you everything that you need for the game to play through and progress quite nicely. You can then go around the yard, do your restoration bits, and I would also focus a little bit more on the character upgrades and the various upgrade menus here to maximise what you can recover from around the yard itself. Trash bags, although you can search through them in order to look for dollars, as we saw, once you can get to that point, which is further on in the playthrough, I appreciate, but the garbage incinerator gives us $50 for each bag of waste, which is a really good return, and there's a lot of plastic bags around the site. We can go to other sites where essentially we're always going to get a good return for our money, and it does replenish so that we can meet those tasks. So we saw that we went off to the residential area and we kind of balanced that out in terms of the trash bags, which would seem a low value item, but on balance actually, if we went to the residential area, there weren't many items that were more than $50 value, but we did see that we could collect the bed and the mattress and refurbish those or restore them for quite a good return as well. So we paid $200 to get to that site, and just the mattress and the bed frame gave us a return of $330. Hope you've enjoyed the video. As I've mentioned before, I'm just trying to get as much content up to the channel as I can at the moment. I don't have any kind of viewership at the moment, so my videos aren't really getting on the algorithms. It'd be really appreciated if you could give it a thumbs up, pop a comment in there, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button so I can reach a wider audience. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.